Hello, I'm Dan.
I'm Pip. We're from Suffolk in England, and this is our van Monty.
This video is sponsored by Magaster. Check out our new channel by clicking the link in the description and be sure to subscribe.
At work, there was a dilapidated old caravan just sitting in a field. Someone I worked for was just going to throw it away. They just said, "Oh, Dan, do you just want to take it home?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So we just got it home.
You say that we decided that, but I just came home. There was a caravan in the drive. We loved doing it up together. And we knew that we always wanted a van. We decided to sell the caravan, and we used that money to buy the van, and it did break down on the way home. So we didn't take any time out of work. We both worked full time, and we built it up a little bit by little bit. So all the extra, little extra bits of money you had, working full time, they all went on the van. And we decided to move into it in October 2018. We're not so stressed with bills. We don't have debts anymore, and it's really comfortable. And you've got everything you need in there.
Even with two dogs.
Even with the two dogs, yeah, it's great.
This is Monty. It is a 1979 Ford Transit. It's getting on a bit now. It's now classed as a classic car, which means we don't have to pay tax or MOTs anymore. We've done a few extra bits. We added in this kind of rail, and then you slide in like a piece of tarpaulin for an awning, but we just don't really use it, to be honest, so it's just kind of now acts like a washing line when we're in places. My mini little garage area, which has essentials, fan belts, lots of fan belts because they like to snap all the time. A couple of little vents for the fridge, a power outlet, but since we've put the solar panels in, we just don't use it at all basically. Everything runs off the engine or the solar panels. Yeah, on top of the roof, we've got a 100-watt solar panel, which I just bought without doing much research, to be honest. I think I probably could have done with a more powerful one, but it seems to do us fine. And we have 110 amperage battery. We put in this as like a little bumper, just to save the van if we knock into any bollards or any bits of, whatever you might hit into. As you can see, we have hit a few things before, and we had to temporarily put some fiberglass over it while we repaint it. We actually got the van wedged in a road in Wales, and it got totally stuck in the road, and we had to reverse out of it, and scraped up the sides, took the chimney off the top, and it was bad. And because it's old, all of the locks are kind of broken or don't work properly, so we kind of just had to add these in with padlocks basically. And this broke about a week ago, and me and Pip couldn't get into the van. It locked us out of the van. So I had to bend this and snap it. So but one of those things. Just a little step that folds up and down. On the top of the roof here, they've been very badly fiberglassed over to stop leaks, because we just had 4 or 5 windows at the top there, and we were sick of getting dripped on in the middle of the night. So we just got rid of them totally. One of my favourite things about this van is the 70s retro interior, which we just love, and it just feels like you're time travelling when you're in it. You could easily just be in the 70s cruising around listening to Creedence Clearwater, which is what we do.
Welcome to Monty, our van. I'll show you around. So when you first walk in, everyone seems to really compliment us on the shoe rack, but it really is just some pallets that Dan sort of saw in half, and then it's not even sanded or treated and things, but that's kind of our little way of trying to keep everything tidy. This is our kitchen area. So we're really fortunate. We have an oven, we've got 2 gas hobs, we have running water, we have a 100-litre water tank, so we're really fortunate. And this used to be a big cupboard that went all the way across, and it was painted this black, tarry paint. It was just awful. We ripped everything out, and looking at lots of vans online, we really loved vans that had open shelving. We don't really have to put anything away when we're moving, which is pretty good. So this is our sink, where we would do all of our washing up. We have 2 switches. One is for the lights, for when we're cooking, and then we also have 1 switch for the tap. So anything from the sink goes into the wastewater tank, which you can just take out and empty wherever you need to empty it. This fridge is 41 years old, as is the oven, and people ask me where we got these from, It's like, I'm not sure if you'll be able to get them anymore. I mean, it's 41 years old. It's just incredible that it's lasted this long. We haven't had to change any appliances at all. Everything that was built in 1979 has lasted until 2020. Our gas bottle, that just powers our fridge and that powers our gas hobs as well. The fridge is actually quite good at being cold without it being on, as long as you don't open it all the time. But I would say probably about every 5 weeks we have to change the bottle. Dan built these kind of like worktops. This kettle is one of like my favourite parts, and obviously it matches the outside. And we actually got this from Etsy, so we spent £20 on the actual kettle, but then it cost us £20 to get it posted. So everyone says, "Where's your kettle from?" And it's kind of a one-off thing. So yeah, we're really happy with that. These curtains I made, so before we had the caravan and before we had the van, I couldn't actually use a sewing machine at all. So I watched lots of YouTube videos, bought a sewing machine, and yeah, this was just reduced cheap fabric at our local shop. So that was perfect. And we just try and keep everything really simple. So this is just broom handles at the top. They're actually sat wonky because I made the curtains off level. Dan built all the cupboards, and this is just where we keep all our food. Everyone that comes in goes, "Oh my goodness, you've got so much room for food," and we are really lucky. I love this bit too. So this used to be like a big long cupboard, and then obviously we put the log burner in, and we didn't know what to do with this space. It used to be a little worktop and a cupboard, so it's kind of like a cubby hole. So it just has like loads of little bits in, so cereal, foil, just like chopping boards, everything. But again, like when you move, you don't have to actually take anything or pack it away. It just kind of sits there and it's all stable, which is great. This is our log burner, which in the winter is a lifesaver. Dan's a gardener, so he gets lots of surplus wood. You can actually cook meals on the top of it as well. And Dan fitted all of this himself. He's done a great job. It's awesome. It's so warm. It's perfect. I love that it's a fixed bed. So when we had the caravan, you just had to pull out your sofas, pull out the slats. These curtains are in fact an old duvet cover that I bought from a charity shop. This is where we keep our clothes. Actually, this is where I keep my clothes. So this is all mine. Dan's clothes are all in here. So I get all of that, and Dan gets this tiny box. Poor guy. The couch, it used to be a really narrow corridor when you came in, and we had sort of one sofa here that kind of stuck out, and then we had another little sofa here with a fixed table in the middle. It was just so restrictive. You couldn't relax on them because the seats were so small. Came back one day and Dan had started ripping out the table and ripping out the seats. So we made them go across. And there's loads of storage under there too. So Dan has like all these tools for like fixing the van, and our water tank's under there as well. I think it's the teacher in me, I like to say organised. So this is our cork board. It doesn't look that organised, but I promise it is. So I plan what we're going to eat for the week, so then we just buy what we need. When we were in a house, you kind of go around the supermarket and you just buy everything. Like, oh, that's on offer, or oh, I really like those, or I fancy those. And you end up having tons of food waste. So we literally plan every week what we're going to have every night for tea. So we've only really just done this up. The reason we kind of left this till last is because you can't really recycle too much. Everything has to be brand new. We're really pleased with how it's turned out. So it has real tiles on the edge. We have just cladding, bathroom cladding, which is really light but waterproof as well. And we actually have a real tile floor, which is really luxurious. Just have a portable shower, so we just literally boil water up on the hob, put it into a bucket. It's just perfect, like really waterproof. Shower curtain goes across, and because it's always been there, it doesn't feel like it's intruding on our living space because it's just always like been that room. It's very luxurious, very, very luxurious. You don't need half the things that you own to be happy.
No.
You
I think the
really
hardest
don't.
thing for people is like actually leaving your job, especially if you've been working at a job for so long. Whereas we've kind of found a way of still doing the job that we like, but in you know, little bits and pieces, so we just do it sort of here and there. I run like my own gardening business, so I was just like self-employed doing that, and we were just going away when we can, and obviously you were.
So I was a full-time primary school teacher, and I've been doing that for 5 years, and then because we didn't have as many outgoings, I decided to stop there, and now I'm a supplying primary school teacher. So it means that I can just pick up as much or as little work as I want. I would never have done that if we were living in the bungalow, because I'd be so worried about paying bills. But because it's so cheap in the van, I can just work as much or as little as I want, depending on what we're saving for.
Like now we're both like really flexible, and I've recently brought in a friend to like as a partnership with my business. So when I'm away, he just, you know, we just cover each other basically, and he goes away on quite a lot of holidays as well, so we just kind of swap who's there doing things. So it's kind of perfect at the moment, really.
Yeah, it is it is good.
It depends, like some people, we have some friends that are travelling who'd rather save like a lot of money and then just go away and not work for as long as possible. But we quite like the going back home, seeing our friends for a few months, and going away for a few months.
People will give you so many reasons not to do it, and it's easy to say no and not to make the change, but you just regret the stuff that you don't do. So if you give it a go and things don't work out, like, you can always pick yourself up. You can make it work for you if you want it enough. If that's your main goal, I really think that you can make it work if you work hard enough for it.